problems that have been just raised. First, given that building trust depends upon meeting expectations, governments first need to determine what the expectations of citizens are. In many cases, socio-economic actors may each have a widely diverging perspective on policy priorities. One of the first steps required, therefore, should be the post-hearing of activities which can generate a better degree of citizen consensus. It is paramount that a government knows what its citizens want the state to do. The state cannot meet citizen expectations unless public officials know what these expectations are. Simultaneously, citizens must have an increased awareness as to what the state does, how its role has changed, what the responsibilities of different actors are, what outlets are available for their participation, and what specific methods citizens and business can use to contribute to various development objectives. Second, once a consensus has been achieved on the role of the state, the next step should be to examine institutional structure and management capacity of the state, and whether or not these are adequate to meet expectations. Now, aside from two fundamental steps, participants of the forum suggested the following additional measures to build trust in government. They include, first, increasing participation of the socio-economic actors in all stages of the policy process. Second, the full utilization of partnership to achieve socio-economic objectives. Third, establishing policy objectives which are sustainable in the medium to long term. Fourth, identifying steps to achieve policy objectives that have realistic chance of sustainable implementations. Fifth, building a consensus within the government to ensure its commitment to the expressed objectives. Sixth, coordination between the governmental authorities to ensure consistency between policy implementation and policy declaration. And finally, prompt and consistent responses to citizen concerns. By increasing policy and institutional credibility, these actions jointly work to improve trust in government. As I conclude my report, I could like to share with you two lessons I have learned through my duties and experiences as a minister in charge of government administration, government innovation in Korea. The first one is that it is not those with knowledge and information who lead government innovation, but those with strong passion and firm determination. Second, innovation itself is never something to be feared, nor is it impossible. However, it seems to be in our human nature to fear innovation and think that is impossible. German philosopher George Wilhelm Hegel once said that if we don't have any ideas, human beings are no more than work ants. The Korean term for innovation, 혁신, means to change our skin from old to new. I dare to say that only those who are ready to change their skin and even their bone and blood can achieve the success in government innovation. In that sense, I hope that this global forum has provided the momentum for us to do away with the thought of the fear and impossibility regarding government innovation, while encouraging our hopes and beliefs for a bright future towards government innovation. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Park. It is now my pleasure to call upon His Excellency Mr. Protais Musoni, Minister of Local Government, Good Governance, Community Development and Social Affairs of Rwanda, to present the conclusion of the Regional Forum on Reinventing Government in Africa, which took place in December in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. The Regional Forum on Reinventing Government in Africa on the theme Building Trust in Government was held in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia from 11th to 13th December 2006 in collaboration with the Economic Commission for Africa, the Pan-African Conference of Ministers of Local Government, the African Association for Public Administration and Management, and the Bureau of the Pan-African Conference of Ministers of Public Service. I now have the honor to read a summary of the recommendations. The following are the underlying issues and recommendations from the African Regional Forum. First, building trust in government in Africa was discussed against the backdrop of the challenges facing African governments in implementing global commitments such as the Millennium Development Goals, the objectives and programs of the new Partnership for African Development, the African peer review mechanisms, as well as the national development strategies, including poverty reduction strategies. It was acknowledged that without governments which trust and are trusted by the people, such a commitment will not be achieved. The Forum recommended all African governments to improve their performance in all sectors as a way of enhancing the trust they have from their people. Second, Africa's public service institutions are committed to ensuring a professional conduct of public officials as it generates and sustains public trust in government. By implementing the Charter for Public Service in Africa, some governments in Africa are promoting consistency, predictability, ethics, integrity, transparency, and accountability within the public service. African governments are progressively rebuilding trust in the government on the continent. Therefore, the Forum urged all Africa's public services to take measures to speed up the review, adoption, and implementation of the Charter for Public Service in Africa as one of the ways of strengthening transparency, accountability, ethics, integrity, and professionalism in the public service. Third, people will not trust a government that is ineffective and inefficient in the delivery of public services. Access to and utilization of quality service, ensuring equitability, and increasing the quantity of goods and services available to the public are central to rebuilding trust in government in Africa. Africa public sector institutions were requested by the Forum to work towards improving the delivery of public services, both in quality, quantity, and accessibility. Fourth, one of the factors which contribute to loss of trust in government is the gap that exists between the government and the people it serves. Therefore, in many African countries, efforts are being focused on making the citizens participate in the processes of developing policy planning and decision-making, as well as the delivery, monitoring, and evaluation of public services. Participatory governance is being promoted through decentralization, community development programs, promotion of civil society, encouraging public-private partnerships in service delivery, and drawing on participatory cultural policies. Empowering women and promoting gender has also been instrumental in strengthening participatory strategies. The Forum